Good afternoon, and this is the HIVE Thrive Hour with hosts Menno and Shadows Pub. Buckcoins is not with us today. I guess we've become the threesome, haven't we? How are you today, Menno?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I kind of been having some really long days, so I look forward to these little chats of ours because it gives me a break from just looking at computer stuff all day. Even though this is on the computer, but it's not the same.
It's more interactive,
Troubleshooting
is it?
servers. That's right. Troubleshooting servers can be a little boring.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
I'm
can
glad to be
understand
here.
that. Yeah. This is good. It's good that everybody's glad to be here. I am glad to be here as well. And our guest today is Hive Trending, also known as the Pizza Witness. Um, he's here in the channel as HT. Welcome, HT.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And how are you? Well, we already know how you're doing today. The change of season is getting you, isn't it?
Something
Yeah,
got me, but I'm all right. Thanks.
you'll survive through this one. So I noticed that you've been on the chain about 5 years, March 2020, that infamous month in the world of pandemics. Is that what brought you onto the chain? Is you had some time because of the pandemic hitting, or how did you find us?
Oh no, I was here longer than that, since June 2018, but I used a different handle. Um, in that, when I made this account, I was getting involved with the Hive. There was a Hive marketing community, which kind of fizzled out, but so I claimed the name. Um, and I was making noise on Twitter, as it was called. So I used this name, and then I wanted to get the same name at Hive. And then after that, I just started using it, and then people started referring to me as Hive Trending or HT. So I just stuck with it.
I was wondering where that name came from. Is that
Yep.
that's how did you choose that particular one? You said you got involved with a marketing group, but why did you choose Hive Trending?
Um, at the time, I think I was taking like trending posts from the trending page and then sharing them out to Twitter. So it was like, hey, follow me to have a feed of trending posts. So if you're on X or Twitter, you would see it in your feed, and it's like, oh, this is a cool post. So that was like the core of it.
So just so you're comfortable, I still call Twitter Twitter. It's not X to me. So go ahead and use whatever you're comfortable with.
Yep, yep. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
no.
that was it. HT. I started another account that I still use on Twitter called Hive Today. If you go there, it's pretty cool. I have a little piece of code that runs on a Raspberry Pi, and every 10 seconds it updates the bio for that profile and shows you the like a recent block number from the Hive blockchain.
I've noticed that you have quite a few you what would you call them? Utilities, code projects. I noticed the
Yep.
pinned post that you've got where you've got what am I working on right now, and I see quite a list there.
Yeah, there's some. It's grown over the years, but probably out of date now. Um, my favorite one there is a project called Hive is Beautiful, which it's kind of like a block explorer, except it shows bubbles, and each bubble represents a different operation. So like an upvote or a comment or someone playing a game. So it gives you a visual into what is actually in the blocks, and you can see the blocks changing over time.
Now that would be more fun to explore the blockchain with than the lines and lines of text that
Yep.
I
Yeah.
that you
So
currently see.
yeah, but if you like that, forgot about this. There's another one I made called Fire Hive, which gives you the text version of kind of the same thing. You can see all the data.
So
I'm just putting links in the channel.
I see that, and I wondered when I heard you say Hive today, and I thought, wasn't that connected with a newsletter? And yes, it was. So tell us about that one.
Sure, yeah. Hive today, it changed over. Um, Originally, I was spending time. It took probably like 2 or 3 hours per week looking for news from different projects around the Hive network. Um, but that didn't scale very well. At some point, I didn't have time to maintain it. So what I've done now is every week I ask groups of developers to tell me their updates. So I've like crowdsourced it. So each developer gives me a summary of what they've done for the past week, and then I put it all together, clean up the formatting, and then publish it. That's called the Swarm of Swarms. So I've been doing that for the past few months. I think we're on number 55, I think.
Very nice. So are the developers actually remembering to do it, or do you have to kind of
There
go to them
are
and shake them
uh,
down?
I am very passive about it. Some people are great at doing that. There
Hmm.
is incentive, so I give developers the option. They can say, "Hey, I want you to share the post rewards, and I will add them as a beneficiary." So I give away like 90% of the rewards usually. That creates an incentive, but it's good visibility because by participating in that weekly exercise, you are showing that you're active and you are doing things. It makes it we're broadcasting it out. So sometimes people say, "It looks like nothing's happening for this project," but there's actually things happening in the background. So it creates more opportunities for that visibility.
That would be an interesting project for somebody to undertake with the witnesses.
Yeah, they're welcome to if they're working on something. The witnesses can join. I've thought about it a lot. It's like if you know about it, you may choose not to participate in this forum for whatever reason. That's okay, but anyone's welcome to join. Recently, like Eddie Spino in the chat, he joined for the first time, and he's working on a browser extension. So he came and said, "Hey, this is I've built this thing. This is what I'm working on." So it's great.
It helps when you get the input without having to chase them down. There was a fellow that used to be on the chain. Oh, and I've forgotten his name. He was from Wales, and he used to try to put something out on the witnesses on a fairly regular basis. And I think he struggled with chasing them down to try to get the input from them.
Yep, yep. That we could do things like, hey, you must participate in these weekly updates if you want my vote from or DHF funding or something like that. I've thought about it, but I understand that there are lots of reasons where someone would not want to participate.
Well, I think part of the problem for some of the witnesses was they didn't feel they really had anything to say from one week to the next. You know, if they were starting a new project or that they were involved in something different, then they would have something to say. But otherwise, it's like, yeah, I'm a witness, and it's the same thing as last week. So I kind of understand some of it, but at the same time, it's good for them to touch base with the community every now and again.
There are lots of ways to help out. For example, recently I've been trying to make more progress on how we combat against scams. There are scams that happen on our network where, for example, the victim receives instructions saying send from this exchange to that exchange, and each time I'll send you back a little bit more coins, and then eventually they just cut them off and take their money. So things like that are constantly happening. There are efforts to combat that kind of abuse, and so witnesses could get involved with that. That's just one example.
Yeah, and those are good examples. By the way, that was a really good opportunity for me to promote the fact that the next Witness Town Hall will be on Wednesday, October the 8th. So that will be 2 weeks. No, 1 week tomorrow. I guess I better get the post out. All right. So, what did you do before you found the Hive chain?
How did I find it? I found it's a good story. So I was interested in blogging, and I did some. I think I was on Medium. I was doing some blogging on Medium, and Medium was really fun. At some point, it was not fun. I think what happened was Medium transitioned from early startup to we need to make money, and they added more monetization features. So it really took out the fun. Like you have to pay. I think it's like it's not much, but you have to pay in order to be in the Medium partner program. And
It's $5 a month.
if you're not doing that, yeah, $5 a month. If you're not in that group, it's like no one sees your blog, so it's just not fun.
Yeah, it's recently
Um,
come out.
yeah.
Stubbinghouse, is that his name? The CEO. It's recently come out. It didn't wasn't so much we want to make money, but we have to make money to survive. That was some of the period that they were going through that they finally admitted to.
Yep, yep. And yeah, at the time, I think the big thing to do as a blogger, the way to monetize that everyone talked about was doing affiliate advertising through Amazon. Was it Amazon FBA links? So you would write a blog and then like link to products, and then if someone clicks on your link, you get some commission from that sale, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a fair amount of
Yeah,
promoting of digital products on there right now that I've noticed in my feed. So, anyways, you were on Medium and you were wanting to do some blogging.
yeah. So I found an ebook. This guy I followed on Medium put out an ebook saying make money blogging on the blank blockchain at the time, the the one that shall not be named.
The
Um,
legacy chain.
yeah. So I got this ebook. I paid money for this ebook, and it taught me like how do you get an account, how do you post a blog. That was like yeah. So even then, I remember I applied for my account, but I had to wait 2 weeks in the queue.
2 weeks. Wow.
Yep.
So
Um,
when it did show up, you didn't just look at it and go, ah, that took too long. You were quite happy to get it.
yeah, I remember I got it, but then I was still very confused how to use the website. So it still took a long time. I looked for um, YouTube videos. I think I found a few people that were making YouTube videos about how to publish the blogs on the legacy chain. That was really helpful.
Then you got going and you were finally blogging where you wanted to blog. Except then we had a big uproar
Yeah,
and we broke away.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then when I got into it, it started opening my mind a lot. It's like, wait, we don't have to do Amazon FBA affiliate links. There's another way that seems to actually work, and it does work. So it's amazing.
Yeah. I've consistently made more on Hive, even with the price being down, than I make over on Medium.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I don't actually even write on Medium very often. I publish my echoes over here on Hive, but they don't get published over on Medium. So I haven't done really anything there much at all. There's one thing I do like on Medium is the fact that my older posts can still earn. And maybe we'll come to that on Hive at some point.
That's true. Yeah. that's actually a good segue. So I also contribute to a project called Reddit Posh, proof of sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that it does help a little bit with that problem because when your post is shared on Reddit, there's a comment added, and some of the rewards from that comment go to the author of the post, and some goes to the person who shared it. Um, Even for old posts. So it helps a little bit with that. If the content is still getting shared around, then there's some rewards coming.
And micro rewards are still rewards. You get enough of them, they build up.
Yep.
So every bit counts as far as that goes. So is that in a particular Reddit?
So Reddit is kind of confusing.
Haha.
We want those posts to be seen somewhere where it matters. So
Mm-hmm.
usually you can find a subreddit community that matches the content, and then it'll do much better. So there is some strategy involved. Like if you target a subreddit that's a good fit, there's more visibility that will come. So there's a list of ones that are not allowed. Like for example, there's a Hive network subreddit where only people on Hive already are going there, so it doesn't make sense to share in that location. So
Right.
there's a list of those.
And does Posh still work over on Twitter?
It does not. It a couple years ago, Twitter made the API far more expensive, and that it's not been possible to run it there after that change.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. That was when what's his face was in the I must make money mode, and he was
Right.
charging for everything. Right.
Yeah.
All right
Um, the
then.
same thing.
Go
The same
ahead.
thing also almost happened to Reddit, but the Reddit community pushed back and said we don't like this. We want to use more tools that access the API, so don't limit us. And then they didn't. They ended up abandoning those plans.
Of course, the Reddit community has got a lot more pull too. They're much
Right.
larger numbers.
We tried looking at Blue Sky. There is a bot that searches through all Blue Sky posts and then adds a comment if something is shared on Blue Sky. But that's the limit of the Blue Sky integration right now.
Ah, yeah. Blue Sky is still kind of developing, isn't it?
Um, I think so. I don't pay much attention to it other than making sure the bot it keeps running. But I know that a lot of people that were unhappy with the new management of X and Twitter have moved over to Blue Sky. That's their new place to hang out.
Yeah, yeah. Some people have killed their account over on Twitter and gone to Blue Sky. Other people are just on both. So
Yep.
Menno,
I
our
want you guys to notice my very highbrow contributions in the chat. You know,
I've been
helping you guys
noticing.
to find.
Posh
Yeah,
is
I mean, because you
pet,
guys.
petrified ornaments seriously hypertrophied, and then there would be gosh, garnishing ornaments simultaneously hyped. I think you were coming up with tongue twisters for me.
This is so people know what they are because they're like, what does that mean? Now you know. Now you know.
Except, your first mistake is when you believe what Menno says an acronym is. So having now set the base there, Menno, I'm sure you have a list of things that you want to talk to Hive Trend about.
Yeah, well, I without getting crazy technical, I do want to talk about development on Hive because obviously Hive Trending, the pizza man, is all about coding. He loves coding. He's working on a bunch of stuff. He's shared some stuff with us right now. But so I want to get your input on this one. It's like, do you feel, and obviously try to remove your bias, your Hive bias goggles, because we all have them. We love this place. We've invested so much time into this place, so much money too, that we tend to not see the flaws. But do you feel like this is the best place to develop, or do you feel like no, 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 we have our shortcomings? I'm not talking about the money. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking like the place to come develop good apps. Is Hive poised to be amazing, or is it just my bias talking?
Yeah, I'm very biased, but I'll do my best. Um, one thing that's really nice is at the moment, all the Hive API nodes are pretty much free to use. So it makes it very easy to get started if you have an idea. This is not the same about other blockchain systems. Like if you try to build on the Ethereum network, most of the APIs either are very rate limited or you have to pay to access them. So there are companies that I don't know how large these companies are, but you pay them to use the API, and the API lets you access the blockchain data. So that is immediately creates a barrier to entry.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, one of the things that has happened in my personal life in the last 2 or 3 months, because I got my brother involved with Hive and we've been developing some stuff, is that his mind was blown about this very fact. It's like, hey, we can build stuff on top of here without it costing us an arm and a leg. So obviously, now I'm gonna say before somebody calls me out, oh, there's test nets. You can go on the, what is it called? Somebody correct me here. Row something, row one, something like that for the testnet for Ethereum, and you can build on there and then move it on. But it's different when you can build on a blockchain like Hive, and then you can grab users that are already there and be like, hey, come use this stuff. I'm sure it's happened to you when you were developing the game. We're going to talk about the game here in a second. Where like you actually can have a pool of people that are here already, and you can be like, hey, come check this out. Is it intuitive? Is it working? Report bugs. Like that's a super weapon as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I do not disagree. I think the other thing to consider is like the Gen AI tools that are available now, like Cursor and Gemini, etc. They're very good at figuring things out. So we may not have like the biggest budget for producing developer documentation and SDKs, blah blah blah, but that is becoming less relevant because you can just tell the AI to go figure it out for you, and it's pretty good at doing that.
Yeah, my brother has he's developed some sort of beef against AI because obviously I'm not a coder, but I tell everybody I'm not a coder. I can code, but there's a big difference. So I support myself quite a bit with AI. I ask it 1,000 questions. I say, hey, is this the right way to implement? Look at this snippet I found. What does this do? Explain it to me. I use it like a teacher that doesn't get angry when I ask stupid stuff. That's how I use AI. And so my brother, he keeps on telling me, don't depend so much on it. Don't depend so much on it. But the truth is, it is kind of lowering the bar of entry. So, like a lot of people that at some point in time would say, oh, I would love to be able to learn how to code. I just don't have the money. I don't have the time. Who's going to teach me? Who's going to take the time to be like, hey, explain to me from zero all this stuff? Nobody's going to do it. So now what's happening now is that you can some free tiers are good enough. Honestly, I wasn't a free tier until maybe 2 months ago, and then as a matter of fact, my friend Mingao, who is here, told me pay for it, man, pay for it. It's worth it. And I've been using a paid tier, and it's just awesome stuff you can do. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and it's getting a lot easier. And I think this is where we're going. I think eventually, everybody's going to be able to code, and that sounds kind of weird, right? But I think eventually, everybody is just going to be like, hey, I have an idea for an app, and then not even be good at prompting, which is really what people talk about right now. It's like, oh, you got to be good at prompting. They're going to be terrible at prompting, but the computer is going to know so well what you are attempting to do that is going to basically read your mind and be like, oh, okay, so you are trying to do this. Okay, I know how to do it, and boom. Do you not see that coming yourself?
Yeah, I saw there was a comment I saw a while back. This guy was saying, "Hey, like, why are you wasting your time making like very beautiful HTML pages for your documentation? Like, all you need is like one text file. It could be like a million lines of text, but that's all you need, and then the Gen AI stuff will come read it and understand it. So like, don't build. It's almost like saying, don't build for humans, build for the robots."
I don't know. There's controversial. Those are controversial thoughts, brother. Somebody might start putting you in the N-word bot right there. My well, obviously, what happens here is that you can bust out a lot of code, a lot of ideas, which obviously I'm sure you're doing as well. Like I have, I think in my Reaper right now, I probably have like 20 something things that I've been working on, and a lot of them have a lot of technical debt, which is I guess the downside of doing it this way because that might not be the best implementation, but for quickly coming up with proof of concept or like, hey, let me see if this is even something that anybody can be interested in. See if you can, I don't know, throw a lure out there. I think it's excellent. Now that said, there's a big difference between somebody who's actually a coder using AI and somebody who doesn't know at all what they are. So like one of the things that I'm sure happens with you because I know you code is that you would talk to the AI specifically what it is that you wanted to do. You would be like, hey, uh, grab this thing, extract it into a helper, and then import it on this uh, screen so that I can reuse it, and then it'll do it for you. But because you know exactly more or less what you want to do, so that is different than somebody just being like, AI, help me, enter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, still you need somewhat. You need to know what are the right questions to ask.
That's right. Now, I know that you worked on your Moon Hive pizza, so let's talk about that for a second. First of all, tell me how did this idea come to be? Like, what made you decide you were going to do a strategy game on Hive?
Oh, there was this game years ago, on the legacy chain. Well, it wasn't really on the chain, but it was chain adjacent. And Eco and I really enjoyed playing it back then, so we wanted to bring it back. And it is fully open source. Like if you fork it, you must also share the source. Um, so we were able to do that, and um, yeah, so we brought it back. It's really fun. So checking, it says that at the moment there are 19 active players online, and there are 191 moving fleets. So that I think is awesome. When we started, I really thought that it would be like 5 people who would join, but it's done really well.
I think nothing feels better than making an app that people use, right? And nothing feels worse than making an app that nobody uses. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
awesome.
this is like it's all text based, so I get it's not for everyone. Like if you don't like a text based game, you're not going to enjoy this. You don't like amazing graphics, but yeah. So yeah, there there are people playing, 19 of them right now. So that's cool.
Is there plans to make another strategy game, maybe one with graphics, or are you going to move your efforts on a different field, more games, or what apps are you working on right now?
No, nothing new. Just there's plenty to do to add on to what we have here. Um, just making it more of our own. Just lots of ideas for customization, new things to add to the game. So I could work on the rest of the time and never run out of things to do.
Oh yeah, I believe you. I believe you. I think it's happening to me right now. I keep on improving it. I think I'm improving. I don't know if I'm messing it up, And every day I'll try to do a little pull request, and then my brother goes like, What are we doing now?" So I'm sure it's very similar with you. Now let me ask you
Yeah.
something related, but not 100% related. Uh, how come pizza, dude? How come you pizza? What is that pizza business about? Like, why pizza? Is it because of the first purchase with Bitcoin? Where does it come from?
No, well, I it's a misconception. I didn't start the pizza project at all. I have inherited the project from someone else. So it was a decision. We'd made a decision that my, I guess, partner would step back and then I would keep it going. So um, it was his idea. But yeah, at the time there was like there were other meme tokens along the same theme, the food theme. I think he just felt like the pizza token would be a good fit. And he was from Twitch. He was a Twitch streamer, so he wanted to have some tie-ins with the streaming community also. So that's kind of why he chose that name, I think.
Now you're gonna tell me you don't even eat pizza, dude. Is that what you're gonna say?
I eat pizza. It's been a while. I try to limit my pizza intake. It's a little too much oil and grease for me, but
What? Hey, Kitty, can we ban this guy? Live in your pizza. No, no, no. I'm joking. I'm joking. As you get older, you have to start. You have to start getting responsible about those things. When I was, and this is honestly the truth, but I was fit back then. When I was young, we would end up playing basketball or soccer. Come back from playing for like 4 or 5 hours, and then we would each one of us would order a, a big pizza from Pizza Hut. What is that? What is the big size? I don't remember. XL, I don't remember. The biggest one with the 2 liter Coca Cola Supreme. There you go, Supreme, with a 2 liter Coca Cola, and then watch basketball games on TV until it was time to go to bed. And there'll be like 3 or 4 of us eating one pizza and 2 liters each. But if I do that right now, I would end up in the hospital
good times.
for sure. uh, that is well, I recognize Matt, but I don't know who the other one is. Is that Manu?
Um, yeah, it's Manu.
Yeah, it is Manu.
Manu
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Menu. You're mean.
I
How do you say your
I
name?
have a love
Menno?
affair with cheese. Yeah, I have a love affair with cheese. So like I struggle. I can stop eating pizza for health reasons. Like I can be like, oh, let me lower the pizza intake, but I cannot stop eating cheese. I don't care if it's bad for me. I'm like, no, I'm gonna have cheese. All right, bro. So tell me about witnessing for Hive. How's that for you? How has that been? Like, do you find it to be difficult? Do you think more people should be involved? How hard is it to get support from other people? Where are you right now on the ranking? Give me the scoop.
Let me go check. It's if someone's determined, I think anyone can do it. Like Privex is one hosting provider that makes it really easy. They give you, I think it's called Hive in a Box. That makes it super easy. And sometimes you'll see on Snaps or somewhere else, you'll see someone new. Hey, I'm setting up a node. So I always cheer those guys on. I think it's great whenever someone like decides to do that. There is learning because you have to learn how to use terminal or command line. So that I think scares a lot of people away. But if you stick with it, you'll learn and get it up and running. Let's see.
And do you find it to be how would I say it? Do you find it to be something that anybody can do, or you would be like, nah, you have to be more like on the nerd leaning to become a witness? Have we gotten to the point where anybody, and I say this because this is obviously this is where I'm going with this conversation. The reason why more witnesses is always a good thing is because that further decentralizes the chain. So having more people secure the blockchain is always a good thing. But if only really highly technical people can secure a blockchain, then we should be moving towards making it easier.
I don't think you have to be super technical, but at least for me, I want to once I start it, I want to understand how it works more. So it's up to you. Yeah, you can get it running and then learn more about what it's doing and look at the data. Just it's helpful to understand under the hood so that when something breaks, you know how to fix it.
Oh, that's right. Are you planning on running a node yourself? By the way, is that something you have like somewhere in the pipeline of like, whoa, one day I'm gonna run the pizza node, or not so much?
Oh, you mean like
A full node. Yeah,
the a full API node?
yeah. We're talking major
I
league.
It's not in my plan. I do have a plan to update my Hive engine node. There's a pizza engine node, which is a light node. I'd like to upgrade that to a full node, which is different but achievable for me without paying too much more money because there is a cost I have to pay monthly for servers and whatnot. So the full Hive node is a little bit out of reach, but maybe in the future.
Uh, Mangao is saying that he thinks, I don't know if this is correct, that you can hire Privex to do everything for you, and you can pay in Hive. I'm of two minds there. Because I think there's too many witnesses on Privix, and that is kind of defeating the purpose, in my opinion, of decentralization. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a stickler there, but I feel like I like, for example, what Solo is doing. Solo has a server running in his house, running in his place, and of course with solar panels and all that stuff. And you would say, oh yeah, yeah, but it's not as robust as Privix or what have you. Maybe, but at the same time, if tomorrow something was to happen to Privix, his node is still going to run. So if we had, ideally, it would be amazing if we had a bunch of people just because they love the chain, they love what we're doing, just like, yeah, I'm going to run a light node in my house. Eventually, one day I might do it, even if it does one block every other week. But yeah, um, nodes outside data centers. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. Not all Privix nodes are on the same location. Okay. Did I know that, Eddie? That's good to know. That's good to know. I don't
Yeah,
know
they
how many
do.
locations they have.
Yeah, they do offer multiple locations, so you can choose.
Well, I have another question for you, Pizza. I call you Pizza Man. It's a lot easier for me to just call you Pizza Man.
That works for
Where
me.
do you have all these bots that you have running? Where are they running? Are they running out of your house? Do you have them on a server, cloud somewhere? Like there's a pizza bot, for example, that I see all the time in snaps. Where are these guys?
Um, Most of it's not in my house. You can go rent a VPS somewhere um, to give you access. You can go install stuff on a virtual machine, essentially, run it from there.
Yeah. I um I for a little while I had like 5 or 7 bots running on my house, but then everybody's internet started to get slow because maybe they weren't built right. So now they're not running anymore. So I've been considering also getting myself, you know, running them on a cloud myself. But then I'm like, yeah, I'm just playing. Yeah, I'm just playing. But you have all these spots that you have. Do you have some that to you do a very vital function of whatever project you're doing? I know, for example, the one in Twitter, and you talked about it a little bit. It just kind of bring awareness of the blockchain hive, so you see that it's working on blocks. It's I don't know. I would not go as far as to call it a gimmick account. It is kind of gimmicky, but it's more like a presence account. Hey, there's a thing over here. It's alive, and this thing is tracking it. But any of the other projects that you have that is doing that kind of thing, which one do you find that has the most impact, in your opinion? Of course, like the thing that's like this is the one thing I think contributes the most to Hive. What would you say?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I didn't get to it yet. I think the most successful project is Comment Rewarder. Um, it's being used by the Snaps, Peak D Snaps, Leo Threads, and the ECNC Waves. Are all using it. Basically, what it does is it allows someone posting a blog can say, "I want to share some rewards with people who reply and add comments on my blog." And Hive Echo, yeah. Um, so I've been working on Comment Rewarder recently. It has problems, but I think it's okay to talk about the problems. The main problem is it has to wait for power downs. In order to send and transfer Hive, it has to wait for a power down. So it runs out. Um, and so I've been improving that so that it will tell you, it will say, "Hey, my wallet is empty, but I'm going to try again later." So it's at least more apparent that this is going on.
I
Um,
got that message today. Funny enough, I was going to ask you. Yeah. All right, cool.
yeah, so that's new. Before it would just say there was some error, but now it's more clear what happened. It's just it will wait for the next power down and then try again later.
Is it, but Common Rewarder is not really a project that you are running for profit, right? Because does Common Rewarder take a cut? I don't think it does. Does it take a
No,
cut?
there's no fee. There's no fee. There's no cut.
And is it,
So if someone there's like a daily automated post, if that gets upvoted, that helps a little. It gives us some extra stuff to use. But aside from that, yeah, that's it. There's no fee for using it, so anyone can. It.
I find Common Rewarder to be especially good for tiny accounts because maybe and more so at the price of Hive right now, it's painfully low, right? Right. So if it's because they can just be like, hey, here's some upvotes at the end of the payout. You'll get something. Come interact with me. Come be friendly. So I find it to be very very powerful tool. And I had no idea you had taken it over. That's pretty cool. So you didn't start it. You took it over recently.
No, I did start it. I built that thing. Um,
Oh wow.
it
Okay,
was not my idea. It was Acidio's idea, but I collaborated with him and built it.
dude. Hmm,
Yeah.
hats off to you.
It works. Yeah. The other thing that's misunderstood is like, hey, this thing is being abused. Like it's sending out all this hive. Like someone's like comment spamming, right? But it's up to the whoever is the OP, the original poster. They they
Yeah.
decide. They upvote which comments they want to reward. So if they
No,
really
that's
like
great.
spam comments and they upvote all of them, then that's their call. Yeah, they have to
Speaking
choose.
of spam and abuse and all this stuff, I want to talk about this for a second. It's not fun, but it's something we got to talk about. Because I know you are very passionate about trying to curtail scammers and what have you. I see your comments, and one of the typical scams that happens a lot lately, or at least in my estimation, is I'm gonna call them typo squatting. Where they'll grab maybe the Binance account and just change a letter or two, or maybe I think they're called UIDs. I'm not sure about this one. You guys tell me of a particular exchange, and then just make these fake accounts and whatnot. And we've been discussing. A few of us have. I think you were in that conversation too, Pizza. I don't remember. Uh, what can realistically be done to curtail this issue because it's really bad. More so because I think we lose users. There's a lot of people out there. This is horrible to say, but there's a lot of people out there that don't understand what decentralized means, and they'll come into the chat. It actually happened the other day with Eddie. That and Eddie, one of the servers that Eddie was it in Telegram, Eddie? You correct me. And they feel scammed. They feel like, oh, Hive just scammed me, and some Hivians are not really that great at explaining it, and they can be like, oh, that's your fault. They get all elitist. Oh, that's your fault because you're an idiot. You send money. If you send money out, they're gonna send you more back. Why would they do that? And so, I'm not naming names, but somebody did that, which is pretty sad. But what I really wanna be able to have, and you tell me if I'm crazy. I want to be able to have a way that we can curtail the creation of these typo accounts by not allowing free services, so services that create accounts like faucets effectively to create these types of accounts. Maybe they would have to tap into an API or something that gives them like a list of variations of accounts you cannot start with or end with, like a reject, so to speak. That's a little bit of code talk, but it means like rejection of certain patterns of letters. So that at least the faucets don't get abused. Does that mean that we won't have these cameras show up? Yes, but at least they're gonna have to burn tokens to do it. Am I
So
talking crazy? Do you agree with what I'm saying?
yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think I replied to you saying that it's a cat and mouse game because they are people are easily fooled. So let's say you block pattern XYZ, block them from making accounts with that pattern. They just find another pattern that can fool people. Um, yeah, but the whole thing sucks. Like this, yeah, like you said, a lot of these people who are victims, it's their first experience with Hive, and the scam presents itself as being an official Hive thing. That's why they're convinced to participate in it. So it's their first experience, and then it leaves a really bad taste in their mouth, and they probably will never come back.
Yeah, there's a definite uh, opportunity there for us to also improve how we handle it. You know, when it happens, because again, I'm not pointing names, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm sure you've seen it, Pizza, where people come into the chat, sometimes on Discord, sometimes they would do it. I've also seen it happen on, what is it called? The one that is on PT. Ugh, my brain's not
Yeah.
braining right now. And then
Stink
and then they
chat.
don't get their help. Stink chat, and they don't get help. They almost get laughed at. It's like, dude, you send money, like that's just terrible. And it hurts everybody really, because there's an image that we have to project from that Hive is the place to be, and this is the kind of thing that really hurts us. How's that saying go? A good experience you're likely to share, a bad experience you tell everybody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, Pizza, I'm really happy that you did the common rewarder, man. That's like one of my favorite things. I have to say, it is one of my favorite things on Hive. How long has it been running?
Oh, let me check. I can find the intro post.
More than a year, would you say?
Probably. Yeah. So that's it's about 1 year. September 23rd, 2024. A little bit more than a year.
Wow. Check that out. Check that out. You didn't do an anniversary, dude. What's up with you?
I'm sorry. I'll get on that.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Look, Eddie's sharing exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, those are terrible things when they happen. Hey, Shadow. I've talked a lot already, but let me ask you some questions, Shadow. Let me ask you some questions.
Okay.
Do you, yeah. Do you feel and then, like, again, remove the bias, the hive goggle bias. Do you feel we handle these situations the right way? What I'm talking about, like when the newbies get scammed as a community, do we do a good job?
Well,
Can we do better?
if you're calling them out, like Eddie's talking about there, the other day he had to call out a guy on public for being rude with someone who's been scammed. That's not a good way to approach it. And it wouldn't hurt to point out to people that that really sucks it happened to you here, but you know what? It happens over on web too. So we always have to be careful. It's make them kind of realize that yeah, it happened and it really sucks it happened, but this isn't, you know, a safe zone away from web 2. We have to be just as careful on both web 2 and web 3.
Yeah, I would say, if anything, Web3 is even more dangerous, to use that word. Maybe that's not the correct word, but because there's nobody you can go complain to. Hey, such and such took my money. Can you get it back for me? If you get scammed on PayPal, for example, you can open a claim, you can try to do, but it's not how it happens on blockchain.
Yeah, you've got to be even more careful. So
Yeah,
instead of instead of shaming them because oh geez you fell for it, maybe kind of help them be a little bit more aware.
yeah. I saw somebody too, and this is, again, not naming names, but this is, I guess I am calling upon everybody who's listening to have some empathy here. There was a guy who's been around for a while who got his account. I don't know exactly how this happened, but he got his account hacked, and then they were depleting the tokens, and all he could do is watch, which is painful. And he's asking for help, and it's happening here on Discord, and they're laughing at him. And he's saying, and he said in one of the things he was saying, he's like, oh, I did everything right. I had all my keys safely stored in my Google Drive, and then somebody said, oh, Google Drive, you're such an idiot. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like, why are we kicking somebody when they're down? This is a
Exactly.
not everybody, to be fair, and a few people jumped in, and actually, I think Mengao was one of the ones that gave him step by step how to recover the account, and the story ends up being a positive one because he recovered the account, and he didn't lose that much money, but yeah,
Mm.
but it can happen.
I think I think in general, I think people are who come from Web 2 expect a certain thing where they think there are people who are employees who work at the Hive company and they don't realize that it's actually just all volunteers. So even if you are not you don't feel like part of the core dev team or whatever, you are also a volunteer. So you are representing all of us, even if you don't want to be. So yeah, I would
That's
like
a really good
to
way to put it.
promote that
It takes a
mindset.
change of mindset to come over to Web3. And that, more than anything, is what needs to be conveyed to people. Like, I remember myself when I came onto the legacy chain and I saw a discussion and comments going on about behavior in the community. And I made the comment to somebody, well, can't they just be reported? And the person came back to me and said, reported to who? This is a decentralized chain. And it wasn't until then that I actually connected with, oh, yeah, right. There is no admin to go to. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. And that's a change of mindset.
Yeah, one of the things that I say all the time, and I do it to scare them, but in a good way. When I onboard somebody and I give them the keys, and then I'll delete them off my phone because I usually use Keychain to create accounts, and I say, and I will tell them, hey, listen, if you lose these keys, and I straight in the eye, if you lose these, it doesn't matter if you have the $2 I just gave you or if you have $1,000, the money is gone. Have you heard those stories of those people that were like millionaires on Bitcoin and they lost a computer and they spent years and years, and this is you can these stories are out there, you can look it up, looking in landfills for their old computers, looking for hard drives because they're like, dude, because now it's worth millions of dollars. Have you heard those stories? And this everybody's heard because it's like urban legends now. I was like, oh yeah, I've heard those stories. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not that the coins disappeared. They're in the internet. They're there. They're in the blockchain. They don't have the keys. Don't be one of those stories. And they go like, seriously? Yeah.
Hmm. and
Don't be one of those stories.
and being super
Give
careful
up.
when you do make a transfer of anything, that you've got the address is properly copied.
This is the story. Wow, wow. Look at this. James Howell has officially ended his efforts to retrieve the hard drive containing 8,000 bitcoins from Newport landfill site, citing 117, what would that be? What is that?
Pounds.
Pound?
Pounds.
Yeah, legal bill, and the council refusal to cooperate has instead launched his own cryptocurrency to attempt to recoup his losses. Despite claims of not giving up, Howell's confirmed he's no longer pursuing the purchase of the landfill, excavation, or dialogue with the council. Has pivoted strategy. Yeah, I mean, but I imagine how that must feel, Pizza. Imagine you're like, my life. I'm not saying this is the case of the guy. I have no idea. Oh, my life is tough. Like I have medical issues. My wife is about to leave me. Everything is horrible. But there's a hard drive out there, and I know where it is. That if I find it, everything will be right with the world. I mean, that's a crazy motivator right there.
Yeah.
How would you let that go?
But really, it's a needle in a haystack, which is why he's not getting the cooperation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or
I don't know if I've ever shared the story on here, but I too, not that much money, obviously, but I too lost keys and lost what to me was quite painful, which was about $7,000. I know that for Bitcoin OGs, this is a joke. Like the other day, I was talking to Farasim about losing money, and that's one of the horrible ones that's happened to me. And I literally lost the keys. I just lost the keys, could not find them, and then I was trying to remember. Yeah, but remembering a seed phrase is no, it's no easy feat. And I wrote down all the words I could remember. I tried for months and then I gave up and I said, okay, that's it, lesson learned. And but I there's two ways to look at these things, right? One of them is to be really upset, sad, and just like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm never doing anything crypto again. I'm walking away from Hive. I'm walking away from everything crypto because crypto sucks. And the other one, which I think is a healthier one, is hey, I just got a very important lesson and it cost me 7 grand. And a lesson I'll never forget. So today, I have my method. If I open a new wallet, it's something I think I'm going to use. I back up both digitally in a thumb drive, with a password, and also physically, and I put that in the safe. So I like, why do I have this method? Because of what happened. So I'm never gonna forget. So there's two ways to look at it, without a doubt. 14 to 19% of BTC is lost. Those are called donations, my friend. Those are called. Yeah, that's an interesting question. What do you think, Pizza? How much of the Hive is lost forever? I know a few accounts. Actually, one of the biggest accounts on Hive is a donation. Do you know the story, Pizza, of Rancho Relaxo?
No, I don't know that story.
Oh, the story of Rancho. Shadow, do you know the story of Rancho?
I know that he's been around, but I don't know much behind him.
I'll tell you guys the story of Rancho. Back in the back when, cue cue the time warp. There was a there was a trader that had a small account on Legacy Chain, and he was not a bad trader. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Some people don't like it when I say it, but it's not bad. I was following him before the whole scandal happened, and I actually made a little bit of money following his trades. But then this trader convinced a football player to invest a lot of money on Legacy Chain, a lot of money. So this football player bought. I don't remember. I wish I could tell you guys the price. We can find out if it's that important. But bought over 1 million, like maybe 1,300,000 Steam back in the day. The price must have been probably anywhere from between $2 or $3. So you guys do the math. And uh, the trader, obviously somebody who had connection with this football player, got a big delegation from that account, and that account kind of went to sleep for a little bit. The Steemit Inc. was actually trying to get in contact with this account, right? The Rancho Relaxo account, because they were trying to find out who it was. It was right around the time Steam was coming off a really nice bull run. At any rate, that account, Rancho Relaxo, started upvoting Hygiene, which was the trader I'm talking about, and Hygiene started self-voting, and then the wars began.
Oh God,
And as you
yes.
guys, if you were here in those times, you would just see the trending. It was just Hygiene posts, and then he was just copy pasting. He didn't care anymore. Just posting 10 posts of his every single day, all the way to trending, using um, Rancho's stake and his own, because he built it up quite a bit. And then everybody on Legacy Chain fighting them, going like, no, no, downvoting, downvoting. And then it got to a point where a lot of whales, Marky was one of them, by the way. I know he's not in audio, but just so you guys know, just straight out became enemies with both Rancho and also Hygiene. Well, long story short, the the fork happens. They double their accounts at that point in time, but Rancho went to sleep. All of a sudden, Rancho wasn't doing stuff anymore, and then a new account shows up. A new account saying that it's Rancho Relaxo, that he lost his keys in a fire, and that he wants the witnesses to help him recover his account. Guess what happened?
Yeah, that didn't happen.
They laughed him off. Because he didn't back up his keys. That was a donation. So Rancho's still around the account, but it's not Rancho. Rancho is out. Hygiene has the posting key for Rancho Relaxo, and he upvotes himself with it. In some of the accounts, I'm sure some sock puppets that he has. But all the tokens that are under Rancho Relaxo account account are donations to Hive. That's a crazy story.
It is, but it's probably just one of the larger ones of a story that is repeated often on the chain.
Yeah, yeah. It is a crazy story. All right. Well, we are reaching the hour. Actually, we're
We
past
are.
the hour one, but I think we had a cool conversation. Pizza, did you know the story about Rancho? Did you just have it for
No,
breakfast? It's
yeah,
an awesome story, right?
yeah,
It's one of the
I like
stories I
it.
used to scare people. Like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story about a football player with a lot of money that lost his keys. Do not lose your keys. All right, my brother. So before I let you go, um, do you have an announcement you want to make? Something that you're working on? Something you want to do very soon? And then I'm gonna let Shadow do her questions. There's always a few more questions before we leave, but she's already got it. She's got a script for it. Development
No,
wise, do you
nothing
have something
else.
more?
I'm good. I dropped some links. I guess just use my stuff. Tell me if you like it or you want something changed. I'll be happy to work on things. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Well, I'm glad you were here today, bro. I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm glad you built Comment Rewarder. I love that freaking tool. So I'll give you props. Uh, and I'm gonna let Shadow do her questions before we say good day.
So, just so you know, Menno, I don't actually have a script for it. I use a script to
Uh,
open up PYPT, but I don't use a script on Hive Thrive. But, HT, what's your favorite thing on Hive, other than being a developer?
Uh, that's so vague. I like Hive snaps.
Hive snaps. That's what you like most about Hive?
Right now, I think it's really exciting. I think a lot of people should check out the mobile app that Menno put out.
Nice endorsement. Well done. What do you dislike most about Hive?
Uh, I can't think of anything right now. I'll let you know later.
That's different. Usually somebody has something they don't like about it. He's so bullish. Yeah, I would have to agree with Menno on that. You're definitely bullish when you can't say, yeah, there's something I really don't like about Hive. But that's okay. I catch you kind of off guard on that sort of thing.
Yeah, it works. Maybe people don't like how it works or they disagree how it works, but it does work. Yeah.
Nice. So with that, we will be wrapping up Hive Thrive for this hour. We've been talking with Hive Trending, although Menno likes to call him the Pizza Man because he's the pizza witness. And Menno, who's our guest next week?
we are having Detlev. He's from World Mapping.
Detlef. That should be a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Your world mapping is awesome. I don't know. Stalkers is here, so maybe I can get him to do it. But I don't know if you guys have seen the Industriator when you go look at all the people that are doing the spend HBD economy, and they're using world mapping, so they're tagging it, and you can see where the hubs are actually organically happening. That's a pretty awesome, powerful tool.
It
It's a
is
powerful tool.
very
Yeah,
powerful. And one of the longer running projects, even though it hasn't been in the same hands all the time.
yeah.
That should be an interesting one. So, with that, we will wrap up this week of the Hive Thrive Hour, and join us next week at on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be talking to Detlef. Until then, thank you for coming, and bye for now.